Edge of Eternity's previews continue to push card prices and more in this latest episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Edge of Eternities, Marvel Spider-Man, or find any number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or the comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. As I said in the cold open, Edge of Eternity's previews continue to have a huge impact on the secondary market this week as speculators go after cards that they believe players will be looking for when the product drops. Since it is another busy week in the market, we're going to be looking at the top 13 cold cards and the top 13 hot cards. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards, as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. We'll quickly look at the cold cards and then spend a little more time on the cards moving up in price. Quickly before we get started though, a couple fast things. I do want to say thank you to one of the viewers who gave a super chat tip during our premiere last week, and that is Paul Dodd. Paul, thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, goes a long way for the channel for sure, so thank you so much. And I also want to say thank you to one of our gold patrons, and that is Drave. Drave, thank you for all your support on Patreon. Again, I could not do this without viewers like yourself. Thank you so much again, Drave. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the top 13 coldest cards of the week. Many of the cards moving down now were moving up recently, but are trying to find their proper price points. You're going to see several Final Fantasy cards on the list due to the high amount of product that has been open over the past several weeks. Remember though, our cold cards are considered cold because they're moving down in value. They're not necessarily seeing less play. With that in mind, let's start out with number 13, Planar Void, down $1.08 to $5.07. That's an 18% decrease. This is used in some pre-modern builds like Pit Rack, but this week it is moving down. Number 12, Sephiroth Fallen Hero, down $1.30 to $3.75. That's a 26% decrease. This is from the Final Fantasy Limit Break Commander deck. This was number 10 on the hot list a week ago. Last week it landed on the cold list to number 8. This week it's down 3 spots to number 11, Lulu Stern Guardian, down $1.48 to $4.99. That's a 23% decrease. This is from the Final Fantasy Counter Blitz Commander deck. Coming in at number 10 is Will of the Jeskai, down $1.52 to $7.11. That's an 18% decrease. This is from the Tarkir Dragonstorm Jeskai Striker Commander deck. Number 9, Cloud X Soldier, down $1.53 to $3.69. That's a 41% decrease. This is the foil copy from the Final Fantasy Limit Break Commander deck. Number 8, Summon Good King Mog the 12th, down $1.78 to $3.58. That's a 33% decrease. This one is from the Final Fantasy Scions and Spellcraft Commander deck. Number 7, Tifa Martial Artist, down $2.18 to $5.74. That's a 38% decrease. This is the foil copy from the Final Fantasy Limit Break Commander deck. Number 6, Tataru Taru, down $2.41 to $11.24. That's an 18% decrease. This one's from the Final Fantasy Scions and Spellcraft Commander deck. A week ago, this was number 6 on the hot list. Last week it checked in at number 7 on the cold list. This week it's up 2 spots to number 5, Go-Go Mysterious Mime, down $2.48 to $8.83. That's a 22% decrease. This is from the Final Fantasy Revival Trance Commander deck. This was number 1 on the hot list 2 weeks ago. 1 week ago it arrived on the cold list to number 2. Last week it went down a spot to number 3, and this week it's down 1 more spot to number 4, Summon Yojimbo, down $2.60 to $7.90. That's a 25% decrease. This one's from the Final Fantasy Counter Blitz Commander deck. Number 3 is a card we've been talking about a lot recently, Tekuthal Inquiry Dominus. It goes down $3.38 to $14.84. That's a 19% decrease. Last week, this was number 3 on the hot list. This week, it's number 2 on the cold list, Sliver Grave Mother. It's down $8.82 to $32.67. That's a 21% decrease. This is the foil copy from the Commander Master Sliver Swarm deck. More on Slivers a little later. A week ago, this was number 7 on the hot list. Last week, it made it to number 1, only to find itself at the top spot on the cold list this week. At number 1, it's Fist of Suns. The 5th Dawn copy down 331 to 1498, that's an 18% decrease. The one from the list down 505 to 1495, that's a 25% decrease. And the one from the Commander 2017 Draconic Domination deck is down 5958 to 1757, that's a 77% decrease. However, last week I mentioned that copy was inflated, and the price being reflected was not truly realistic. Now you can see it's normalizing quickly. This initially took off because of the only card previewed from the upcoming Avatar The Last Airbender set, Avatar Aang/Aang Master of Elements. Alright, time for the main event, the top 13 hottest cards of the week, starting with number 13, All Will Be One, up 243 to 1125, that's a 28% increase. This currently sees Commander play in several builds, like Shalai and Halar, as well as Kibo Tabi Prince, for example. However, Edge of Eternities is pushing this price. The set is bringing back charge counters in a big way, and All Will Be One will be a good upgrade for the upcoming Counterintelligence Commander deck. Plus, I've seen it in fresh deck lists around a couple cards from there. Kilo, Apogee Mind, and to a lesser extent around the front-facing Commander in Spirit Flagship Vessel. Number 12, Ketramos, The New Dawn, up 251 to 1411, that's a 22% increase. This had a high price when it was released, and since then it came down a lot, but now it's moving up because it does see quite a bit of play. It's a commander in both regular and 1v1 dual commander, but the modern format is really the key driver for this price increase. Ketramos is in the very popular Esper midrange deck there, plus it's also found in modern Esper Murktide, Mardu midrange, and sometimes Goryo's Vengeance. Number 11, Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, of $3.08 to $15, it's a 26% increase. This is from the Fallout Science Commander deck with an exclamation point. It's found in some different Commander decks, like the partner builds with Frodo Adventurous Hobbit and Samuel Attendant, as well as decks around Ygritte Eater of All, for example. Now though, some recently previewed cards are moving this price. Some players want Nuka-Cola Vending Machine for Commander decks around Knuckles the Echidna from the Sonic Friends and Foes Secret Lair, but even more players want to add Nuka-Cola Vending Machine to their future food commander builds around a card from Edge of Eternities, that's Ghost Deft Gastronaut. Coming in at number 10, where we typically begin, Turgid, God of Wright. It's up 345 to 1829, that's a 23% increase. This continues to be a fairly popular commander, and it has received some tools from recent sets. It's also in the 99 of builds like Tiny Bones Bubble Burglar and Tiny Bones Trinket Thief, for example, but you guessed it, people want Turgid now for some commander decks around new cards, hence the price increase. This has been appearing in decks around Kefka Court Mage / Kefka Ruler of Ruin, as well as Sephiroth Fabled Soldier / Sephiroth One-Winged Angel. Both of those cards are from Final Fantasy, plus I'm seeing Turgid, God of Wright in deck lists around Dr. Eggman from the Sonic Friends and Foes Secret Lair. Moving up 5 spots this week to number 9, Hatchery Sliver, up 356 to 1137, that's a 46% increase. This is from the Commander Masters Sliver Swarm Commander deck. It currently appears in Sliver Commander decks, including those built around the first Sliver and Sliver Overlord, for example. I've even seen some putting this in builds around the Wandering Minstrel from Final Fantasy. However, it's a couple Edge of Eternities preview cards that have led to Hatchery Sliver's price spike. Slivers are playing a very small role in the set. A preview of Sliver Overlord is a special guest, plus a brand new card from the main set, where all it took to get Hatchery Sliver, which is a harder to find sliver, to spike for a second week in a row. That new card is Thrumming Hivepool. Coming in at number 8 is Kanji Airy Keeper. The Invasion copy goes up 436 to 986, that's a 79% increase. The one from the list is up 449 to 1209, that's a 59% increase. This is a difficult to find bird wizard that traditionally would appear at times in Derevi Imperial Tactician commander builds. Now, however, it's moving up because many players want copies for their new commander bird builds around Choco, Seeker of Paradise from Final Fantasy. Number 7, Magistrate's Scepter. The Core Set 2019 copy is up 293 to 475. That is a 161% increase. The one from Mercadian Masks is moving up 460 to 750. That's a 159% increase. This appears in a few commander builds like Varela the Hulklade, and Tetrathal Inquiry Dominus. But you know why this is spiking. Edge of Eternities is bringing charge counters back, and some are already looking at this to upgrade the counterintelligence deck. Plus, I'm seeing Magistrate's Scepter and fresh deck lists around Kilo Apogee Mind and in Spirit Flagship Vessel from there. Ultimately, Magistrate's Scepter will be great in these builds, and there will be several options for endless turn combos with the card if you're so inclined. Coming in at number 6 is Spike Cannibal, up 582 to 629. That is a 1,238% increase if you're doing the math at home. This uncommon 1-print wonder hasn't really been seeing much play to speak of, but now with all the new tools +1/+1 counter strategies have received recently for Commander, some have been looking to use this as a hate card. Many of the cards from the Final Fantasy Counter Blitz Commander deck are a prime example, plus don't forget about Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic Friends and Foes Secret Lair. Quickly before we get to our top 5, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Edge of Eternities, Marvel Spider-Man, or find any number of other great items on their website, Magic related or otherwise. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States, and if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Aura of Dominion, up 741 to 850. That's a 680% increase. Another 1-print wonder that wasn't really seeing much play to speak of. However, now many want this to upgrade the Edge of Eternity's Counterintelligence Commander deck, while others are planning on using it in fresh builds around Kilo Apogee Mind from there. Kilo, Aura of Dominion, and Pentad Prison, which is getting reprinted in the Counterintelligence deck, go endless together. Moving up 4 spots this week to number 4, Tiller Engine. This is up 1811 to 3810. That's a 91% increase. This is from the Dominaria United Painbow Commander deck. It's in 1v1 and dual commander builds around Lumira Bellow of the Woods. It's also in regular commander decks around Patron of the Moon and Jared Carthalion from its pre-con. But what's causing this to spike now? Well, I have seen it in some commander decks around Go-Go Master of Mimicry from Final Fantasy. However, it's Age of Eternities that's really causing it to jump. The set is bringing more support for land matters strategies, and Tiller Engine is a good land matters card, which you could potentially use as an upgrade to Edge of Eternity's World Shaper Commander deck, headlined by Hearthal the Worldseed and Zarel Genesis Shepherd. A week ago, this was number 10. Last week it moved to number 9. This week it moves up 6 spots to number 3. Agatha's Soul Cauldron, up 2237 to 7406. That's a 43% increase. This has been seeing play in multiple formats since its release. Remember, 7 cards were banned in Standard a week ago, and since then this has been playing a much larger role in the format. It's in the popular Is It Cauldron builds, plus it's found in other standard decks too, like Is It Prowess, Jund Insidious Roots, Golgari Insidious Roots, and Jeskai Tempo. Additionally, you see this card in Pioneer, Golgari Insidious Roots. Over in Modern, it's in Yawgmoth, Kethis Combo, and Selesnya Life Gain. In Legacy, sometimes it appears in Painter. Plus, it's used in both regular and 1v1 dual commander. In regular commander, it has been seeing play in builds around Sisay Weatherlight Captain and Ketramos the New Dawn. In 1v1 dual commander, Agatha's Soul Cauldron has been in builds like Magda the Horde Master, and the partner decks around Bruce Tarl Borish Herder and Yoshimaru Ever Faithful, but it's now seeing additional play there in decks around Tidus Unis Guardian from the Final Fantasy Limit Break Commander deck, and Cloud Midgar Mercenary from the main set. Coming in at number 2 for the second week in a row, Squandered Resources, up 2865 to 9864. That's a 41% increase. This reserve list card was seeing commander play in builds like Lord Windgrace and the Gitrog Monster, for example. More recently, it had been appearing in decks around the Wandering Minstrel from Final Fantasy. However, now Edge of Eternity's previews have caused Squandering Resources to spike. As I said, we have seen a Land Matters theme emerge from the previews, but the World Shaper Commander deck is taking it a step further. It cares about lands entering, but it also is encouraging you to juggle your lands from the battlefield to the graveyard. Squandered Resources will be perfect in that build whether you select Hearthal the Worldseed or Zarel Genesis Shepherd as your commander. And finally, coming in at number 1, Tombstone Stairwell, up 5376 to 8544. That's a 170% increase. This reserve list card has been jumping because it sees Commander play and builds around Sephiroth Fabled Soldier / Sephiroth One-Winged Angel from Final Fantasy, but Tombstone Stairwell was also mentioned on the MTG Goldfish podcast this week, which did bring some more attention to it, I'm sure. Although, when there is attention on reserve list cards like this and squandered resources, there will also be speculators picking up copies, which further dwindles inventory, leading to greater price increases. And with that being said, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Last week we streamed some Final Fantasy on MTG Arena Sunday afternoon. Thank you to everybody who joined us. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do it again, so have your notifications ready. I'm not sure exactly what time, but stop in, say hi, feel free to chat. We can talk about card prices there too if you want to. But anyway, I had a really good time, so looking forward to doing it again. Until next time though, hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.